but he's spawned in the red. Feels weird when Cyan isn't blue.
Ooh, right. This one's going to start off aggressive, and a gas first opening for the Terran player in the bottom right side of the map, representing Kaiser Gaming. He wants that quick tech. It is time.
Yeah, so gas first is good against aggression. It means faster factory, that kind of thing. You can one base pretty handily as well if you need to.
He's gonna eBay block, right? Maybe? Or no. It'd be too late. It'd be too late to start that.
Yes. And for Cyan here, he's got the gateway in a spot where it could just be the max packs.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a bit of zealot pressure to basically punish a low ground expansion for Terran. Coffee read this like a book last time it was done against him.
Oh,
it is an eBay block. Okay, I thought it was a little bit too late.
Yeah, you know what's funny about this engineering bay block? Some people go down there, mine 5 minerals at 1 minute and 5 seconds, and then just go back up the ramp as that SCV timing would come in. So this might almost be a meta SCV timing that, because Coffee did the exact same thing, and I was like, oh, that's a mistake. That's a bit late. He doesn't get as much build time on it as he should. But it might actually be something. There's the meta game of scouting for the eBay. So you come in with a later eBay. The, of course, constantly adjusting little just mind games and things here in StarCraft.
Oh, man. Brutal.
That's very rough for Cyan. Seeing it that late is so nasty, man.
The whole idea of this build is that you put pressure on while expanding behind it, and his natural is just... He's going to take the third base location for his Nexus instead. Like, I mean, that's the build order. You have to take the Nexus.
100%.
And there's not like a probe over there to make another couple gateways and go super crazy.
Time doesn't know about the proxy though, right? Because he only did the eBay block and then went home. So he doesn't actually know there's no gateway. So that's the one thing going in the favor, right, of Cyan is there's no bunker. He's going tech lab on the factory, so it's only a matter of time till a Cyclone comes out. But the Stalkers could come up. Zealots work on the reactor, and then the Stalker will have to try and focus down those SCVs.
It's almost certain. Oh, no, time. So he's got a SCV down the low ground. He did intend to take his CC down there. Interesting that he wanted to take it down there even after seeing what he's seeing with his engineering bay.
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing is, he just says, oh, yeah, you've just gone to take your third, no worries kind of thing, right? But definitely a little brave and brazen since there was no Zealot attacking that engineering bay. You are right on that, Maynard. Cyclone and Marines are on the way. Zealot Stalker's going to get 1 SCV. And now you're just stuck playing a macro game with very late tech. He's going to try for a little bit more damage, but I think the hopes of that are very low.
Indeed. I'd like to see behind this time grab his CC up in the main. Like, I know he's literally and figuratively putting out fires. There we go. I was going to say that CC was feeling a little bit late, but just by a couple seconds.
Oh, the Cyclone can now really chase these units back.
Certainly can.
Goodbye, Zealot.
Gute Nacht, mein Liebchen. I don't know why I'm speaking German. I just really like German.
Yeah, well, you know, there are sadistic people, you know. TLO always, he always enjoyed inflicting pain on his opponents. He's like, oh yes, enjoy my borrowed pain links, yeah.
Ja, bestrafe mich. Apologies to every single German viewer right now. Terrible German with terrible phrases said in a very suggestive way. But yeah, so time, losing a couple of Marines there, sees the proxy, disengages and pulls back. And it looks like Cyan, I mean, it could flirt with the idea of poking at the natural, but really it's kind of shut down here, the opening of Cyan. And Time did a pretty good job reacting, and he kind of needs to work on getting rid of that engineering bay. Because,
yeah,
you know.
He does, absolutely. I got to agree with that, right? But also, the thing is, he did kill 5 Marines there, right? That wasn't overextend for Time, and I think that takes away the awesomeness of Time's build a little bit. There's also a part of Time that I know kind of wants to have an excuse to cancel that eBay so he can get 100 minerals back and get some engineering bays and barracks up quicker. There's always that thing, you're like, dude, my build, I meant to have another 100 minerals by this point. You meant to clear it up. What the hell, dude? So, I mean, Cyan finally goes home, but he's kept that gateway up on the front. And that's such an important part, because with this build, you're so light on production. You've got one gate, and it's on your opponent's side of the map. So if that Cyclone came out, killed a Stalker, killed another Stalker, bam, loses control of his gateway, it's pretty much game over. But as it is, Cyan's been able to build many more units. He's got Warp Gate up. He's adding more gateways at home. He's going to play 3-gas Blink in the follow-up, and he's got a really healthy worker advantage, and he looks like he wants to take the top base with that probe.
Yeah, it's in a bit of an awkward position to for anything else. But, you know, Engineering Bay is getting attacked there. Time is getting an inkling that Cyan is very likely going to be expanding there very, very soon. So he's pretty safe to take that natural, keep making those workers. I like that he's breaking off some units as well, just to go and make sure that everything is hunky-dory, squeaky clean.
Oh, he's opening up an entrance here.
Okay.
Okay, very cute. Stalkers just want to pressure. Lots of Marine tank though, dude. 4 Marines, stim +1, and a tank on the way at a time. Does Time have a second reactor, by the way? Or has he got 2 tech labs?
I think he has 1. Yeah, he has 1 reactor.
Okay, and he's going to swap onto the second tech lab, yeah.
That's a big wall of Marines here. That's a tough nut to crack for Cyan. Drops the Dark Shrine. All right, my man.
Okay, Cyan is taking that third. I'm okay with him just making units for a while here and keeping up that production because this feels like the first push of Time is going to be very important for him to make something of. And the starport is so late. It feels like Cyan actually has a very good amount of freedom in this game. And even though the numbers will be scary when Time does push out, I don't know, man. I guess I kind of wish Cyan went Storm this game. I do think if he went Storm quicker, he'd be in a better position.
Cyan showing a little bit more of that aggression in PvT, trying to get a little sneaky cheeky with that faster Dark Shrine on 3 bases. Lots of gateway production too. Oh, look at all those gates go down.
Cyan's solo on probes and he's not probing. I think he really thought Time would be pushing out by now. The gateway's all finishing up here. He's going to be like, please push out before the 7:30 mark at the latest. Like 7:20, 7:10, leave the base. Come, push me so that I can actually get a big mass zealot fight while backstabbing with DTs. This is Cyan's plan. He needs a fight in the near future because he's not probing. He's doubling down on what is a defensive all-in. So what do we mean by that? I mean, he knows he can't crack a defensive Time, but if he just masses units, commits nothing more to economy, no forge, no upgrades, he can wait for Time to move out and then pounce on his army while potentially backstabbing him. So Cyan here is literally just saying, if you camp for the next 5 minutes, it's game over. I cannot win that game. Stalkers, oh, okay, gets a few units, but he does lose 1 Stalker.
Main base is being patrolled by a Cyclone as well.
Yeah, that's really scary. 40 Ts. They can kill it real quick if Time doesn't react.
Gets the lock on that prison.
No,
DTs aren't dropping, they're going for the mineral line. A little bit of indecisiveness from Cyan.
Yeah.
He's lost the prism.
Oh, and all of his Stalkers as well, Maynard. Oh,
what?
That's just it. Every Stalker and the Prism all going down at once. Time diving in on top, and there's just no units here. Cyan's defensive all in and was actually really predicated on that DT drop doing some damage and distraction. It kills 22 SCVs. Can you believe it? There's a DT on the Marauders there. Tanks do unsiege. That DT does go down. Oh my lord, dude, if he didn't lose the Stalkers, I think with how much damage he's doing, Cyan might have been able to win this game.
I mean, Cyan is putting in a lot of work on the other side of the map, and there's only so many scans on the two CCs for Time. Actually, he's third, not quite done yet, as it's still part of the wall-in. Getting any tanks here is a pretty big deal, and he definitely crippled the economy of the Terran here, but, I mean, he's not without losing a bunch of damage back at home, right? Oh, no, the other DT's walking into the scan.
Zealots will finally take out the tank. The couple of Marines and Marauders will drop into the main base. 33 probes versus 20 SCVs. Mules are there, and a third command center is almost finished. Time has a decent position if he can find just a little bit more damage to slow down Cyan. Cyan does defend the main with only 1 more probe lost. Right now, it's neck and neck. Both players are deep in the woods. They're in a very bad position. Time, though, has Stim Bio. Cyan, what has he got? DTs is his only tech that he can really leverage here. Remember, he has no upgrades on this charge and Stalkers. So, yeah, this drop's going to kill him. Uh-oh. The natural's under fire.
And come the Widow Mines as well. Only so many DTs can Cyan warp in. He's a little bit light on minerals and gas, to be fair. Widow Mines drop. They unburrow, waiting for the charge lots. Reburrowing now. The DT might even get picked off. Actually splits there. DT gets scanned, gets gunned down. And it looks like the extra warp-ins here from Cyan will hold that natural. Time even just dropping a couple bio units here by the third base. He's killed 10 probes.
Yeah, and that'll do it. That will manage to break the back of Cyan.
And the Stalker.
Cyan, once again, with a bit of a multitasking error. Kind of what happened against Coffee in game 1. Remember when that Marine drop distracted him? In this case, it was the Cyclone intercepting his Warp Prism that distracted him. He lost 6 or 7 Stalkers in the middle of the map. And that was an absolute disaster. And on such a small map as Berlingrad, it is a fantastic Terran map. It's always going to be tough to defend.
Another DT being walked in here at the third Nexus, but even if the DT kills every single bio unit, it's going to be a ghost town by the time they're done, and he will not be able to kill the bio with the Dark Templars. The Invisible Men with Capes do have weaknesses, and that is Scan. GG. Time takes game 1.
Very well played by Time. He was a little slow to pull the SCVs from the main. And when I say a little slow, I mean every single one died before anything got out of there.
You lost a lot. I was going to mention it while we were looking at that attack on the third base. I saw the number on the side of the screen reach 22, and I'm like, ugh.
That is not
getting
good.
weird.
But
Yeah.
hey, if you break the Protoss third and kill their entire army, it turns out it's okay. But this is kind of similar to what we saw in that game 1 versus Coffee. Cyan gets in a good position. You think, oh, this is a pretty good setup. This is kind of the fragile moment. He was committed to a very low worker count, but I like that. In that sort of situation, especially like, how do you make sure you do counterattack damage? 4 DTs in a Warp Prism, super hard for a Terran player to handle. Most Terran players these days, they just rally their units to the production and rely on the Zealots having to come in one at a time. 4 DTs are going to just tear through that. So I like the idea. Unfortunately, though, the execution wasn't quite there. A moment of inattention and the Stalkers go goodbye.
Indeed, as does map number 1 for Cyan, but hopefully you can say hello to map 2, which we're going to be seeing after the break. Don't go away, guys. We'll see you then. What's going on, StarCraft fans, and welcome back to the DreamHack Masters main event here for the Valencia summer season and China. I am Maynard, and with me is Pig, and we are in our first best of 5 of the evening from the top side of the playoff bracket. It is time for Cyan. The time currently up 1-0. Cyan making it a little weird toward the end with the Dark Templar, but Terran coming out on top in the end.
Indeed, I do like Cyan's play in the early stages. I think he navigated a very awkward situation spectacularly. I think Cyan played really good, and it's the same thing he did yesterday, the day before that. Unfortunately, Cyan has been falling apart in the mid-game of his PVTs. I was hoping today this first game would be a big confidence booster. It was Time's map pick, though. Now we're going on to Cyan's map pick, so don't worry. For the faint of heart, do not be afraid. The Protoss power is still coming. Cyan has a chance to redeem himself and show that he can hold it together in the mid-game and compete with the best.
Yeah, but didn't Cyan pick Hardwire?
Later
Isn't that like
in the series.
Oh, later, my bad. This guy in the bottom left from Kaiser Gaming, currently up 1-0, and I've not seen him lose TVP on Blackburn, but hopefully Cyan can mess that up. This is time.
And a little sad that he doesn't get the most awesome song since it's already been taken. Let's see which one he gets in the bottom right. Representing Good Game Gamers, it is Cyan.
Deus Ex, not bad.
Not
That's
bad.
the second best track.
Yeah.
You know what? For number 1 and number 2 seed, that's number 1 and 2 seed music on the intros. They did it.
I like to imagine that production has actually set up a seeding system. So that you get the good song, you get the one that's not quite as good, but almost.
Yeah. That's a really good system. I think that production can probably take hints for future seasons from professional commentator Maynard and Pig, mainly Pig.
We need those music rankings. Now, obviously, the gold base is forefront of our mind because that's what Cyan did last time, but he's not going to do it. Now, he's also not walling off the ledge either, which means his gateway is much safer from those pushes and drops that do end up to pick it off. Also means a Reaper could just walk straight into his base, but this just shows good flexibility and adjustment, doesn't it? Because Cyan is playing a guy who's not building a Reaper, and I think he knew that, and that's why he didn't build the Reaper wall. So Cyan, I think, showing very good understanding of how his opponent's playing. Time with a Marine Expand.
Yeah, very good preparation. Just, I mean, if there's any player that has enough, like a ton of games to research and learn from, it is Time, no doubt. So good moves from Cyan, and correct play, correct choices so far. Bringing the probe back and sending it into gas as he heads towards tier 2. Cybercore finish now for Cyan, and it is going to be Stalker first.
Okay, Stalker coming out along with Warp Gate. No scout for Time, right? He just played straight like bunker here. No factory yet either. Is he playing 3 racks, mate?
He might be. Okay, reactoring out Reapers. Interesting.
Okay. So this is like if Cyan goes a second Stalker and rallies them both across the map, and then those Reapers hop in, that's obviously so much damage can happen. 2 Reapers in an undefended base can do a lot. For now, Cyan is scouting out with his first Stalker. Hopefully that second one does stay at home. It's a 3cc for Time.
Wow. Mega greed here from the Terran. Gonna try and make the Protoss freak out a little bit with multiple Reapers on the map, and then just expand behind it. I mean, that's the thing when you're under pressure and you're like, oh, trying to worry about what's happening in your main base. You're not thinking about what's happening in the Terran's main base, and then before you know it, they've got equal workers with you and as many mining bases.
Well, that's a very good Stalker placement. Sees the Reapers coming.
Very nice.
And you know what you're up against. Now, I don't know how into the meta Cyan is, but does he know? Oh, whenever he goes double Reaper, it's 3cc. He immediately starts a sentry, so he wants to get the, of course, hallucination for scouting. It is a 2-gate blink. No robo down just yet for Cyan. And a 3rd gateway. So 3-gate blink. Definitely a build that can obviously match the greed of Time. Now, with Time's 3cc build, recently we've seen this suffer to big blink stalker zealot timings on the Terran 3rd base. Stim and Shields is so delayed with this build. And it's definitely something that can get very nasty.
Time going up that ramp there, got to see pretty much everything. The Robo's on the way now. I think he just might have missed the Robo. Or is it in the wall? No, it's in the wall. Missed the Twilight Council is what he missed.
Yeah, he sees Stalker Sentry though, so we should have a good picture of what's going on. Like you said, it's not too many surprises going to be coming out of that. I mean, they're not making sentries at home if they're rushing DTs or anything like that, right? That'd be pretty rare. So he's just gonna say, okay, Marines, Marauders, get the third barracks on the way. We should expect a starport sometime soon for time. I would imagine he does have a factory, right? Oh, maybe he hasn't even started the factory. This build is pretty alien
barracks.
to me.
Yeah. The factory's just on the way now. I mean, for a lot of 3-racks builds, you get your factory like 50-ish supply, but you also don't get a third CC. So
yeah,
you know, so the factory has been delayed somewhat.
Yeah, I mean, it ends up being just a lot of bio. I guess this build actually can die to 4-gate blink as well, because your barracks are just delayed a little bit, and you know, there's a big timing before stim shields is done, that sort of stuff. But Cyan's taking a third, going Immortals, going Stalkers here. I want to see that splash damage sooner rather than later for Cyan's sake. You know, if you know what's happening, you're just going straight Colossus. Upgrades, probing, you're not really playing with any precautions. Hallucination comes in, he sees some bio, but he sees a very late factory, good steering around, and he confirms the build order.
He does indeed. Good information here for Cyan. Now, apart from the lack of gold bases, Cyan's build is extremely similar to what he showed earlier on this map, where he wanted to go for a bit of a gateway-focused build with some robo units for support and just the single forge. So just going for attack upgrades rather than armor upgrades or anything like that, like going double forge, like a lot of Protosses would like to do if they were a little bit more on the gateway side.
So I think he's going to stay real mid-game. Hey, like, he's got 3 sentries. He's going to have at least 2 Immortals. So lots of Stalkers and Immortal. That's a pretty scary army with Force Field and whatnot. Like, if it takes a few big Widow Mine or Siege Tank shots or all the sentries go down in the bad fight, it doesn't look very good. But if you split the army correctly with the Force Fields, it's very annoying for the Terran.
Stim is done, so that means the Terran is going to feel good about sending the bio out on their lonesome. Oh, Robo Bay going down here for Cyan. I'm actually liking this more for Cyan as a choice to go for that splash damage rather than rely on just pure gateway, as he has been in a few of his PVTs. Keen to see how it plays out.
And he's got a Marine kill, a Marauder kill. You don't have a tank right now as time. You don't even have the option of building. It's pure bio. Medevac comes down, does damage a few more units. Doesn't quite get the Marine that time around. And charge is now kicked in. The Colossus Bay is ready, so we will be able to see Disruptors and Colossus starting to add in. Another Marine goes down. The 4 Stalkers. Perfect number to one-shot those Marines.
That's right. Medicare has arrived for the bio out the front between the natural and the third base. This loose-ended Phoenix also doing wonders for Cyan here, getting a bit of a look at the army before it gets taken down. And he's going straight into Disruptors in a second robo facility. All right, double bowling, double disruptor production here for the Protoss. I like it.
Zealot run by getting ready on the top of the map as well. That's going to wait for time to push him, and then we'll run into the third base. He's also got, is that Prism Speed or Observer Speed? I think it's Observer Speed going in on the Robo Bay. I'm going to call that...
Yeah, I think that's Observer Speed. I think the Prism Speed icon's a lot, like a fair bit bigger.
Yeah. Because they look pretty similar. I never know. I always have to hover over. I know.
Yeah, they
Prism
both have like a star with lines coming out of it.
Gravitic Drive? I don't even know what the Observer one's called, man.
Obsidic Drive.
Obsidic Drive. That does sound right. Well, 4th Command Center and 4th Nexus on the way. Welcome to the macro game, Maynard.
Wow. Yeah. If anything's going to turn into a split map game, it's going to be this one. They have already taken their sides of the map. This time's got the 4th CC on the way. Looks like he's gunning for the 4th base to be at the gold. Picks off that Observer there. And it's more where that came from. Cyan's making quite a few of them, actually. He had 3. He's going back up to 3 now. Charge lots catching that Marine up to the north side, so time is wary of these charge lots now. Sees the Disruptors as well, where that Marine does a scan just to make sure what else is up against. And I think he feels like, hey, my bio ball is big enough to win a fight against that right now. There's no Colossus here. Yeah. There's no, there's no High Templar or anything. Like, I have a Ghost Academy that I don't need Ghosts to push, so I can go out there and, with micro, split against the Disruptors and hopefully take a good fight.
No Colossus for the sustained damage is definitely an issue here for the Protoss player. Battery cannon to back him up is very good. He's got to be careful he doesn't just get pounced on, though.
Time stims back after seeing 2 Disruptors. It looked like Time wanted to split his attack into the natural and the 4th base there. But, ooh, that's a lot of charge loss, my goodness.
Oh, here we go. Army on the top is pretty large for Cyan. He's only got 1 Disruptor on the bottom, so he definitely could get kited out there, but he's got enough Zealots that it's not just going to be an overwhelm, that's for sure. Yeah.
This actually looks quite tough for Time to do much about. Maybe he gets the shield battery, but I don't think he actually wins this fight. Oh, I mean, an EMP could be nice. That was the overcharge shield battery as well, right?
Yeah, well, definitely. It's a nice start to it. The rest of his army's coming down. Cyan.
Oh! Decisiveness from Time. Diving on the Disruptor. Might get another one there in the natural. He will.
Oh.
The Novas do not connect. Time getting some lovely tier 3 robo pickoffs here.
Oh, getting a medevac though. Cyan has a large army coming down here. That's a very bruised Terran ball. One Widow Mine will not scare him away. He just spreads against that. The Stalkers say, get back here and fight me, mate.
Couple disruptors on the back end here. Some fresh ones ready for the fight. They fire at Nova to the south. Good split from Time. Loses one Marauder. Another Nova. That one a lot better. Gets a few more units. Time picking up these disruptors as he pushes forward. But another disruptor there in the natural with some very healthy Immortals. Another round of charge loss should do the ticket here for Cyan to hold on. He's got 8 more just printed now. Ready to come on down in the front line and hold on.
Oh, Time has
that. No, he's going for the run by with it.
Oh my gosh. Gets one of the disruptors.
Great splitting from Time. Loses a couple units on the front line, but really decisiveness when he dives on these disruptors. He knows that he's going to get it, and every time he goes for that gamble, it works. Dives on the shield battery there, takes it down. The charge lots up to the north side. Look, they're about to hit the Terran. Another exposed disruptor down here to the south. Can he get this Nova?
Ooh,
oh, not bad.
Good shot, but definitely we're seeing what happens when you don't have Colossus in here. There's a reason why Colossus is the better choice, especially against a player who didn't build tanks or Vikings, right? Time here was focusing on pure Bio Ghost, and Colossus is just objectively what beats this army. If you just get 2 Colossi out, you're always going to be doing so much damage.
And Planetary just in his final shot kills 3 Zealots there with the splash damage. Yeah, I'm with you, Pig. It just makes a lot of sense to go for Colossi when you don't have the units that are great against them. No tanks, no Vikings, no problem for the Terran to just, I mean, Disruptors are fantastic. Time's just a little too good at just managing to avoid disruptor damage. He has taken damage, but not enough for it to be worth it, Cyan. I think he lost like 10 disruptors in that game, by the way.
Yeah. Time with fantastic micro, and that's why you need some extra range damage to punish him. Whenever he's dodging in and out like that and doing all that fancy stuff, the Colossus will punish every time. You need that 9 ranged unit, right? The Stalkers and the Immortals are great, but they're only 6 range units. And because they get stuck behind your other units, whereas the Colossus can easily walk in and out, walk back and forwards, it never gets stuck and isolated. You can see why just having 2 Colossus there would have been absolutely massive. Time's micro a little bit too good. If Cyan had some Zealot backstabs or DTs getting in there, maybe he could have distracted Time. And that's where the Disruptors can also find a big effect. But if Time's the one who's dictating exactly when and where the fights are happening, he's not going to be letting those balls land on his face.
No, absolutely not. That would be very embarrassing for that to happen in front of all these fine people viewing us right now. Couple Reapers opening. Cheers. Couple Reapers opening for Time in this game. I felt like Cyan actually had a very strong start, going to not only deflect that Reaper with a lovely little patrolling Stalker there, but also just great hallucination, hallucinated Phoenix constantly happening over and over again, remembering to keep his scouting on point. But when push came to shove and the Terran came and knocking on that front door, he could not get him off of his land.
And Zero Fear just always runs in towards those disruptors. This was a pretty good idea to chase the Terran army here. But we see that disengaging is so scary. But remember, in this sort of situation, imagine a Colossus is swiping, stepping back, swiping, stepping back. To me, the Disruptor, it's a great desperation move because you can make big plays with it. But it's something where, unless it has, you know, some Storm in there, some Colossus, something with a bit more range splash damage to it, it's just hard to match the firepower and to punish that Bio for dancing in, around, and splitting all over the place. And remember, you don't have Marines. You don't have that tier 1 unit with just crazy range DPS. I'm telling you, if you had Marines plus Disruptors, Protoss would build that composition every game because it would absolutely slay. But Zealots and Stalkers just don't have the same DPS or the ability to put that damage on the units without getting up close and personal.
Yeah, you are absolutely not wrong. Going into map number 3 now as we hear the countdown begin, and it feels like Time is very scarily looking like he's teetering on the edge of a 3-0 here, which spells not great for Cyan or for our broadcast time, because this has not been a long series either.
This has not been a long couple of days, Maynard. We've been having very quick series for the most part. This has been the quickest season of China so far, I think, that we've ever had. I'm pulling that number out of thin air, and yet I'm pretty confident it's true because there's just been a lot of one-sided quick series. I'm telling you, it will be turning around, and I do think JC Coffee is definitely there in the wings, but right now, there is still one more game. Remember, he was up on match point just like this in last season's grand finals. He was on 3-0 in a best of 7, and he lost the next 4 maps against this same opponent. Let's see if he can change that story and get back to business as always. Kaiser Gaming's time.
Jazz Jackrabbit intro, Earth Steed introduction. And the bottom left from Good Game Gaming in the red. He's against the ropes. Can he come back 3 maps in a row? This is Cyan. Oh, he gets number 1 seed.
Oh, yeah. Production's cheering for him to make that comeback, man. We don't want to finish this with 3-0.
Production bias very clear and present here. Interesting. All right. Well, hopefully, production, your boy pulls in. The red Protoss can get it done. Because it has been a tough series so far for young Cyan, tell you what.
You know, it might be the Terran bias showing through, but you said that, you know, it's like, instead of your boy pulls through, you said your boy pulls in, and I just think of like pull the boys, you know? That's all I hear there. Let's just hope hope that the player you're cheering for pulls the boys.
What happened there was I was flying a caster plane pig, and I was I could see that I was about to fly into a mountain that says he pulls off, and that's like, that can be construed as lewd. So I pulled back on the flight stick. Unfortunately, entered some turbulence way higher above the mountain and some thick clouds and hit pulls in, which doesn't make sense either. And my plane just spirals.
An unexpected northeasterly wind there coming out, and
it's a low pressure thing.
Yeah, it's when you're over this spot in the ocean, 2,000 atmospheres, dude. That's there's actually a very serious pressure system here. That's why it's called 2,000 atmospheres. The gravity under this ocean is absolutely crushing.
Yeah. Pro being cheeky on the outskirts here, but the entire idea of Cyan was to avoid the Reaper, but Time kept it at home just long enough to catch that little bad boy. And now it's time to go across the map and have a look, see what's going on in Protossville. Factory a lot faster this time, so no 3 Rex build from Time for map number 3.
I think the matchup of the builds is really rounding out well for Time, because remember, game 1 is where Cyan wanted to punish a greedy Terran who's too lazy to scout. Game 2, game 3, Time does not scout. Right? But he happens to have the safe opening in game 1 where he goes for, of course, you know, the very quick factory. He's about to go for the command center, and the Zealots walk in. He just puts it on the high ground. So Time's getting away with the greedy openings, whereas Cyan, he's spent a good minute of mining time with that probe just scouring the map for proxies, going, what's going on, what's going on, what's going on? Gets no actual value out of it.
Time catches the extra gateway down here by the front side. The main has been walled off, obviously, by Cyan with the pylon gateway and cybercore. And yeah, just multi-gate blink from Cyan. Looks like he likes to go for the 2 gateways in the robo pretty much every game so far.
Well, we are seeing Cyclone into 3 racks, which is, of course, a lovely build. Sets you up for some nice timing pushes. Adept does get inside and see this. This is a super valuable scout for Cyan. Number 1, you don't need to be worried about any harassment at all. Number 2, you need to be really worried about the 7-minute mark, because there could be a giant biotank army arriving at your 3rd base.
Most certainly. The Adept is going to shade just in time, I think. Yes.
And the Rico? No.
Oh, never mind.
Does
you know what? No, I do want to die. I want this. All right. Down she goes.
Quick 3rd. 350 3rd base. I like it. It's exactly what you want here. I would say you want to rush to about 55 probes. And maybe 60 if you want to go Storm. And you just really want to get straight up to either Mass Zealot or Storm. Take your pick. Colossus is always an option, of course, against these 2 basey styles. Time doesn't have to all in from here. He can really, obviously, just add a starport, add a 3rd CC, get the +1 upgrade, and kind of move forwards that way. But for now, 1 tank comes out, and the barracks will take that tech lab.
Cool build. I like it a lot.
Yeah,
it makes you feel so safe.
Piglet does this like all the time as well, and a few other players. It's so solid, man. You can obviously build a reactor on the factory and then the starport next to it, and you swap those over. So you still have decently timed medevacs, and it's kind of a 3-racks build, but you also have a Cyclone and a tank. So, you know, you're not weak against Oracles, you're very strong against 4-gate blink because you've got the siege tank. It's a very well-balanced build order. And in terms of a one-size-fits-all safe, generic TVP, this is what you want to be doing.
All right, well, charge follow-up here for Cyan as the robo goes down. And just a little bit of smattering of blink pressure here at the front door of the Terran. This looks like a very, very hard place to do anything as the Protoss, though. Time's pretty locked down against Cyan.
Only 3 gas. It feels like Cyan's going to be playing Immortal Sentry Zealot again. This is one of the most high-skilled ways to play against Terran, I feel. Trying to do like force fields and Immortals and using Zealots. It's a really very, very hard to manage army and very skill-based. So I kind of wish we were rushing some splash damage, because I think it's a bit easier if you can get that splash damage up quick enough to control that. This army is all about sick force fields and the like. Unless you're, really confident in your control, you wouldn't do it. Cyan, though, he's been doing this for years. He's very confident in this scenario normally. Today has not been his day so far, but he's stopped at 59 workers. Massing army from here. It's a bit of a healthier economy than he had on Berlingrad in game 1.
Yeah, he's looking very, very solid. It's about that time where you cut probes for a bit and get working on your army, and that's certainly the plan for Cyan as he sees this move out from the Terran. Tank in tow, and it looks like medevacs are rallying across to meet him. Yes, so medevacs is going to come join in. Natural a little bit open for Cyan. Let's see if he can pick off anything interesting. And there is some bio here, but not very much.
Ooh,
wow,
good rally. Really good rally there for time. Just doesn't kind of send his units across. 2 Marauders being ready and out. Gets a Stalker there. Ooh, okay. Force fields get a few Marines and Marauders. 2 Marines and a Marauder. Not a bad start. Zealot warping up here. Oh my.
Okay. All right. So Cyan committing a little bit more on the attack there. He doesn't. It's not super convincing to me that he holds here at the 3rd base. I'm surprised he's using any units up to the north.
There we go. He recalls them, and if the Mortals can get on the right side of that Nexus, they can kill that tank really easily. But Zealots are splitting off, and time, he just picks up and leaves. He's like, yeah, there's no reason to force this. My opponent's massing Zealots. Why would I need to force this? That army expires. Bio never expires, man. Bio is that bloody...
It's evergreen.
It's that milk in the it has the chemicals in it. You leave it in the bloody cupboard for 6 years, and it's still good.
Milk?
Yeah, it's powdered milk.
Powdered milk, man. That's Bio. You heard it here first.
Doesn't go off, man. Zealots,
does not go off.
Zealots, they last, it's got a good couple weeks in it, but eventually they're going to be trash if there's a big enough bio or ghost ball.
Yeah, full cream, man. Well, the Zealots are coming up here for a bit of an attack around the natural. Feels like time's really locked down, though. There's no 3rd base out here for those Zealots to swarm over or anything like that. While time does have a 3rd CC, it's not been floated out just yet. He's really locked down, tighter than a standard arm. It's so hard as a Protoss to attack this. He's making Vikings as well, expecting Colossi this time as Cyan may be deterred from making Disruptors after the 2nd game of Blackburn.
Yeah, that's actually really smart. If you're building Vikings before they even start their Colossus, that's very bad.
Oh, okay.
Straight Disruptors.
It is Disruptor.
So I think Cyan's plan this time, Maynard, is to get 10 Disruptors ASAP. If you have enough Disruptors, they can't dodge them all, dude. So there is a certain number there. That's nice. 3 Immortals and some Force Fields can definitely help as well, right? For that sustained damage I was talking about. You just need that damage to be dealt while your opponent's dodging the Disruptors. We'll see how it goes here. Big bio army coming. Protoss, get out of there, mate.
It's a lot.
Run. You don't want to waste your Force Fields out here in the middle of the map.
No, and he's about to have 1-1 on that bio as well. Looks like a charge lot shift queue into the natural here at the Terran. I'll be able to get a little bit done. Maybe in the 3rd base would be nice.
That's like a good 12 Zealots, Maynard.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's definitely able to do damage.
That natural's going to take damage for sure.
Yep, time does pull the boys pretty quickly. Bunker buys a few seconds, so well done on that. Army rotating to the left side. He wants to go for that 4th base. Cyan here. Battery overcharges preemptively.
Yeah, goes to the overcharge before there's any units, but they're here now. In comes the Novas.
Oh!
Once again, time diving. Oh, that 2nd Nova connecting pretty nicely on the bio. Isn't enough, though. Time bleeding SCVs on the other side of the map. Looks like his main and 3rd base and natural are getting hacked to pieces by charge lots, but Cyan will lose his 4th Nexus.
I think that's a good trade for Cyan, but can time get any more? There's only 3 Disruptors out here. You can see the way he dodges those balls with ease, mate.
Yeah, no balls for me. Cyan has a pretty big army supply advantage. He's going for the Disruptors again. He takes them down. In come the charge lots. There's a lot of charge lots, Big.
Man, you need a Colossus to punish that shove forward. Oh, he gets a lot of his own Zealots there. The hot pickup for time. He's going to try and drop inside the main base. He's still at a terrible economy, but if he can do more damage, it could be big. There's still Zealots in the 3rd and the natural of time.
Yeah, these Zealots are making it really all in for time now. He's still got a lot of army, but a lot of it is at home. It is not on the field fighting right now. Prism going across the map. Time sees it with the medevacs, though.
Oh, okay. Good micro on the Prism for Cyan. Cyan's going back into double Disruptor. Dude, just 1 Colossus would be so massive for him. He's trying to go that pure Disruptor style, which I haven't seen in a long time. The Terrans have been so good in the last 6 months at dodging these Disruptor shots. I think this is a decent fight here for Cyan. Force Fields at time's going to try and break the rocks right now. Big Zealot warping on the top left of the map. Cyan says, let's just keep flooding those Zealots into your rally. DTs, in fact. And he's probably clicked one of those into each of Time's bases.
Yep, that's going to be a lights out to the economy of time maneuver from Cyan, which is brilliant. It's going to work, but he just needs to make sure that this army takes a pretty catastrophic loss. Otherwise, he could still die to the Stim Bio and to the Ghosts here. Big drop in the main base from Time. YOLO into the main.
And there's a Liberator in the main as well that apparently had already sieged the workers. DTs are tearing it up right now. And can he defend his main? Cyan, he's got to clear this up.
Nova comes in, gets one of the Widow Mines, does not get the other one. That one takes care of a couple Zealots. Bio stimming in for the Disruptors again. He's target firing once more.
Oh, get some bio. A few Zealots go down as well. Another shot does land on a Ghost. The Stalker's warping in with the help of the battery. They will be able to defend. Cyan holding his DTs, doing so much damage.
I think Cyan might have done it. He might have found the nuts here. His third base in shambles. It's floating back into the main. He's got SCVs running between the natural, running between the main base. They are not mining. Now they go back to resaturate the main base. He's lost so much back at home. Late game does not look very viable right now for Time. He needs a really good fight against the Protoss to have any chance of coming back here.
Yeah, late game, I mean, it's the right now game or there's no game. He's got to go at this moment and win. His army supply was even, but now it's less, and it's going to keep on dropping in comparison. Cyan's army will grow so much quicker. This is not a lot of firepower out here for the Protoss player, and you got to be careful here. You don't want to lose those disruptors. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god.
Oh, the Prism. All he needs is one hit point.
Just
that Prism will get its job done.
Stalkers are starting to clean up these medevacs. The Disruptors get trapped there.
Oh man.
Oh my god.
It's a really good fight for Time. He gets 2 Disruptors. He kills a bunch of Stalkers as well. The Nexus is exposed. Time's going to start working on that worker difference.
Look at how Marine heavy Time is here. He's realizing there's nothing to punish Marines in this army. If he has enough Marines, he can just gun through the Zealots and everything else, right? He doesn't need to be so Marauder heavy. He's just building Marines right now to have the firepower. If he gets enough firepower density, those small Marines pack in so much firepower in such a small space, then he has a chance of getting on through. Cyan's army looks like utter trash right now. Luckily for him, Time has very little healing. His army is really bad. I mean, it's a handful of Stalkers. Their damage sucks. Luckily for him, Time's economy is in the absolute dumpster, but I do have to bring back that point, Maynard. A single Colossus, look at the way Time's microing. It's a big ball of Marines, and they're running into the Protoss army consistently. One Colossus, no range upgrade. It's a game changer.
Yep, I completely agree with you. It seems like such a great addition for Cyan at this point. These DTs absolutely putting in work. Another one coming in here into the main base is being annoying as Time used his scan offensively to get rid of them. Probably thought the DT shenaniganry was done after getting rid of that War Prism. There's the defensive scan. DT tries to escape, does not manage to do so. That Prism, oh, not the Prism, but that Pylon just to the left of this natural has been a game winner for Cyan. He's found so much damage from it.
Well, that one will get cleaned up a bit easier. The Zealots only going to damage some units, not much else. 1 Marine kill for 3 Zealots. Great trade for Time.
Oh, did Cyan lose his Robo Bay?
Yeah, it must have been in the main base. I didn't notice that before either, but that's why he wasn't rebuilding the Disruptors or Colossus. And he does finish rebuilding that now. He needs to rebuild a 4th because Time is building SCVs right now. So he's thinking about going into a slightly longer game. And Cyan's position might look better on the probe count. But remember, his bases are mining out. So he does need to take a 4th in order to maintain that advantage.
DT coming on in, but the turret is done. So that DT should get denied. Kill, no cancel on that Nexus.
Ooh.
And Cyan is not exactly swimming in resources right now.
400 minerals is massive. That's the same as killing 4 Zealots there. There's not a lot of splash damage in this army. Ooh, and every stim that gets worn off is actually massive. Great fight for Cyan.
Yeah, very nice. Killed quite a few Marines there. Disrupted whiffs, but the gateway units and the Immortals got the job done.
The shadow of a Marine just spiraling across there as its corpse floats up to the surface, cartwheeling to the ceiling, so to speak. Stalkers, Immortals, Disruptors, though, in good enough count, it feels like there's not enough bio army there to really contest Cyan, though. His 4th base has been denied for a while, and Time, he's back up to a healthy 26 SCV economy, Maynard.
Just pump it along with the 28 SCVs he's got right now. He's on his way to 30 pig. Huge economy for Time. Look at the mining difference.
Yep, absolutely monstrous. Loses 3% of his economy right there in one hit.
Yeah. All right, well, I mean, Time's starting to fall behind in army supply here, and I love this. Like, Cyan's going for the kill move right now, man. He's making that 1 Colossus. No range, no problem. That's still going to help so much. And he's making a Templar Archives. These are things that Time is going to have a rough go of it, getting rid of.
Zealots even tearing up the Marines and Marauders in the natural there. The Disruptors zoning out. EMP does set off the shields on all of those Immortals. Oh my god, Time's micro is just so sick. He doesn't really let these Disruptors touch him, but as we've been talking about, the Colossus will change things. 4th base +2 attack now on the way for Cyan, and feels like after a very scary start to this series and a messy mid-game here, Cyan's DT backstab really being the final kicker, but before that as well, it was the multi-pronged Zealot stab. You said before the series started, you know, if these players can start to hit time, multiple bases at once with those Zealot run-bys, that movement definitely can start to take some maps off him. Cyan's showing that is the way to do it here.
Yeah, and that Colossus in the middle of the pack here. Time is going, damn it, really? Now I got that giant War of the Worlds robot to worry about, and there's 2 more about to join it. Oh, man, that's too much splash. This incredibly marine-heavy to army here of the Terran.
All right, 4 Archons being warped in. 3 Colossus will be hit in a moment. The +2 timing seems pretty unstoppable. Time says, it's all right, I'll swap into Viking production. He can afford 1 right now.
Yeah, he's out of gas.
Ain't feeling good for him.
I think he has 1 SCV on gas, judging by that mining rate. Yeah. Maybe 2. 2 SCVs on gas. Oh, 3. Wow. That's 1 more than I thought.
Yeah, trying to take some more gas geysers now. And that army's still roaming around. But yeah, Cyan's just way ahead from here. And I mean, let's just take stock of how Cyan got to this position. Is this pylon up here was really crucial. Even earlier on, remember those Stalkers went for the backstab? Marines and Marauders chased them down. They ran back. Zealots warped in here to reinforce, and they chased all those bio units down. And these little warp-in pylons and gateways, I feel like they've started to feature so much in modern PvT, and they make such a big difference, just allowing you to choose, do I warp in at home, or do I warp in for the backstab?
A lot of big power spikes have happened here for Cyan. He's gotten the Colossi into his group. He's gotten some Archons into his group. He's got +2 attack about to finish for those gateway units and those Colossi as well. They're going to benefit a lot for those upgrades. Nova to the north side. Great Nova from Cyan. Kills a bunch of Marauders and a couple Marines as well. SCV's getting shredded at the 3rd base just by another Zealot warp in. And I think Cyan might have finally done it, Piggly.
Indeed. Time's economy
GG.
gets cut out from underneath him for the 3rd time in that match. And Cyan gets a point on the board. He says, yep, I just wanted to build the hype. I wanted to rebuild it. Remember last season, guys? 3-0? Turned it into a 4-3. Get wrecked.
That's right. I mean, Time... Cyan had to rip that game out of his cold, dead hands. he had the heart of the tiger, that's for damn sure, in that game. So I do think it's going to be tough for Cyan. Like, even though that map was fantastic and he had a really great game there, the plan worked for him, and I'm super, super happy that Cyan got a map victory here. I still feel like it's more likely that Time wins 1 more map than Cyan wins 2. You know what I mean? Like, it's
for sure.
He is extremely solid, and a lot of stuff went very well for Cyan in the mid game there, and it still was a slog to finish him off.
Well, his hand is through the coffin, you know, Maynard. He's punched his way through the coffin, but he hasn't quite climbed out of it just yet. And
Kill Bill Volume 2.
Yeah.
The 1-inch punch.
The 1-inch punch through the coffin. Then you've got to climb up through 6 feet of dirt, Maynard. You know, it's not an easy journey, and definitely not finished yet.
If Uma Thurman can do it, then these Chinese kids can do it for sure.
Especially,
I believe in them.
He's fighting for his kids, Maynard. It's going to get that
He's
dad
fighting
strength.
For his kid.
He's going to
Exactly.
flip the
Dad
car,
strength.
pull his kids out of the wreckage, and he's going to buy them ice cream with that prize money.
That's right, and I'm so excited for him to do that. Guys, we're going to take a short break. When we return, can Cyan fight back even further? Don't go away. We'll find out together. See you then. G'day StarCraft fans and welcome back to the DreamHack Masters main event here for China for the Valencia summer season. I am Maynard, with me is Pig, and we are in our first best of 5 of the evening, and with it we have Time, currently match point with a 2-1 lead over Cyan, who just his first map win on 2000 amateurs.
Indeed, he is fighting hard, and a great comeback in that map there. A bit of a larger map, and of course the first 2 smaller ones didn't go so well for him. Now, that was, of course, Time's map pick, which means we are back on Cyan's map pick. I think it was Hardwire. And the deciding match, of course, will be... Is it Glittering? Glittering, Maynard?
Glittering? I thought the Glittering was the decider.
Yeah, so Hardwire, then Glittering, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. Both big maps, man. No pushing across the map and just instantly killing the shield battery and winning the game for Time. Yeah,
Actually, Kane's a Terran player. I'm very excited for this game. You know, we're having a tough...
Nobody else makes that connection except Fear Dragon, Maynard. He's infected your brain. He's the only person who has a problem with people using that as a word now.
I think Fear Dragon's starting to like seep into my blood or something. Like it's starting to get... I'm concerned because I'm also doing a lot of dad jokes and puns suddenly are funny to me now, and it's very scary. Anyway, in the top side, speaking of scary, currently on match point from Kaiser Gaming, this is Time.
It's time.
It's time.
And down here in the red, it is Good Game Gamer's goodest gamer. This is Cyan.
Yeah, I'm a good gamer. I'm gaming. What of it? You want a piece of me?
You want a piece of me? Female character there, just hanging out, going. Yeah.
Don't put a pylon next to me. I'll kill you.
Actually, what sound? Do you know the Tastelope on Pride of Altaris, the like big kind of green thing that like runs around really quick?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
What sound do you think that makes? Yeah, that's actually like I absolutely can imagine that. It's just sitting there eating the grass, just like lifts up its head, and it's just like.
Yeah. And the Tastelope goes, "It didn't make." It's the only thing it knows how to say, though.
No scout again for Time. I'm telling you, man. Time had a really good run of builds at the start of this, and it's a little unfortunate that Cyan hasn't been just pulling out another max build, because after the first one, feels like it would have worked pretty well every other game.
Yeah, or maybe game 5.
Maybe. Well,
is Glittering a good map for it? Probably not.
I think you can do it on any map, really. I feel like the max packs is it all just comes down to how the Terran opens, right? If they just scout real early, or do something quite safe, do a 1-base build, it's not as effective. Comes in, we'll scout the reactor first, build order, and some people, whenever they do reactor first, they go 3 racks. I think a guy as good as Time probably randomizes it enough that you can't make the read. Cyan does go Stargate. Interesting. Okay, he was planning to do that already because his warp gate had been delayed. Oracle into Blink is pretty great, but securing a 3rd is always a conundrum with any Stargate play versus 3 racks. Yeah,
I mean, as someone that... I shouldn't do this, just be like, oh, in my games. But I'm just saying, like, we'll say that at professional level, especially when you're playing when you're a Terran and you're playing 3 racks, you're normally pretty happy to see Stargate, because while the Stargate units can definitely be annoying, as long as you stay clear of stasis wards and that sort of thing, you really can keep the Protoss pinned a little bit. That's what a female correct sounds like a chicken. Probably tastes like it too.
I wonder if they have you can ride them in races like Chocobo.
I mean, don't talk too loud, Pig. There might be a Cowrick Racing.
It's the next mobile game.
Mobile game, yeah, coming soon. So,
as long as it has a catchy tune like the old Chocobo Racing song, then I'm down with it. Oracle is coming on out, so I'd like to see a Twilight immediately. Now you can go like 4 Oracle here. Oracle into Phoenix, not really what you want to play against this at all. So once he realizes it's 3 racks, I think he'll cancel extra Phoenix and double down on some other stuff. Cyan's poised to take a 3rd. This is not good for Cyan.
No. And you see those many Marines, at least as Cyan, when you see that many Marines, you're like, this is at least 2 barracks. So
yeah, I think he's made the read because he pulled his probe back from his 3rd and he dropped a 4th gas in a robo. So he's just like 2 base Colossus. Yep, let's play safe, and that is the way to do it. And the great thing is, what were we screaming for in that last map, Maynard? Colossus. He has to go Colossus against 3 racks from here. He doesn't have a choice. You can't play Disruptor. So, yeah.
Oh, baited.
But Oracle gets an SCV.
Yeah. It's something.
No, he's built a... Is that a second Phoenix he's built? Is he going to go full Phoenix Colossus here?
All right. And Max said does like it in PvT. There's a third Phoenix now. All right. Okay. All right. Expecting a Robo Bay pretty quickly here. He does need an answer to this many Marines.
Does he have any
and it is,
gateway
units?
units?
Not going to be Stargate units. Oh my god, he's making an Immortal. I don't know about this at all.
No, yeah, Immortals are good. I mean, if you're... but his Robo Bay is already done. You know, it'd be good if he made the Immortal earlier, right? Doesn't have many...
I think Cyan's
Dude, he's not making gateway units. Where is his Stalkers
Yeah.
and Zealots and Adepts? He's got a Force Field. Okay, I mean, Battery Overcharge and an Immortal can defend this Maynard. It definitely can. Because the gateway is such a choke point. He has to stop to kill gateways. Does time. So that's the big defensive advantage here.
Oh, the bio is biding its time for that stim. Not going to pull the trigger just yet. Immortal, as you mentioned, hardened shield, overcharged shield battery. That thing takes a lot of firepower to go down. Time doesn't have +1 with this push. He's got stim and combat shield, but it doesn't time out with +1. That would be pretty deadly for Cyan. The Phoenixes are doing work on the other side of the map as well. All right. Starting to get more convinced here.
Pushing into the gateways because the force field's so deadly, you can't shove in there as time, and he does end up pulling back. Wait, did the Robo Bay cancel, or did it never build before?
No, he never built it. It was just a robo. That's why I was worried for Cyan. I'm like, oh, we need to go to splash damage here.
Oh, this is really awkward securing a third then. Yeah, no, this is really scary.
Oh my god, he moved out of the natural.
Oh, he's got a lot of gateway units. Yeah, He takes an okay fight. That's acceptable. Trades a few Zealots there. And look at that, picks off a unit. The Phoenix are doing well. Dude, Cyan plays such like... To us noobs, this feels so dangerous. He's perfectly calculated this. He knows how to ride that knife's edge.
I've got like cold sweats and a shiver going up my spine watching this guy with like 4 Adepts and an Immortal hold against like a 3 racks timing attack.
Oh man, yeah, it's definitely knife's edge, but who's ahead and who's behind after all that? I mean, with the Phoenix control, if he can get Colossus started pretty soon, I do favor Cyan in this situation. I feel like he's got so much more tech. His Sentry survived, his Immortal survived.
Colossus time, let's go. There it is.
Yeah, if it gets messy and you lose your Sentries, I think it's really bad for Protoss. But if you keep your Sentries alive, just get that energy back up, defend your third base. It's really nice position, man.
Certainly. Observer also in a good spot to catch some of the bio just running through the middle map as well, so that Cyan knows, hey, let's drop some stasis swords, let's get our units in position to deflect a potential Terran attack.
Oh, and he's just camping the production. So nice.
Yeah, this is super annoying as a Terran. Not a whole lot you can do about that. Even with the Marines coming out here, he's only got 1 reacted barracks. Builds the 3rd on location. I mean, the Phoenixes can also put a stopper in that too.
Medevacs come out. Uh-oh.
Yeah, he's already killed one. He's going to get another one here.
Wow. Okay, double drop in the main.
Bay.
Oh, that could be huge.
The lance will not be thermally extended.
Nope, that is going to be a short lance, but it is about how you use it. And here we go. He's going to stim into the 3rd at the same time. Cyan has so much more stuff than time right now, but it's not in the right position.
Yeah, all of his stuff is moving from one side of his infrastructure to the other. Meanwhile, this side, he loses the 3rd Nexus. The Nexus snipe from time. And the drop in the main, just to recap, also killed the Robo Bay. So he has to remake that, and the Colossus production has been stifled.
Does it matter though, Maynard?
I don't know. I don't
Just
think
because
so.
Luca D, you know, Todd's in my ear right now. I hear a Frenchman hitting me over the head with a baguette saying, Luca D, supply. And yeah,
just pull his beret over his mouth, stuff his beret into his mouth. Tell him to eat it. Tell him to eat a baguette.
I think Cyan's biggest error there was not pulling the observer further back, so he couldn't monitor where the army was on his side of the map, right? In a defensive stance, if your Phoenix are in their base, you really need that vision. But despite that, Cyan defends it good enough, rebuilds his 3rd immediately. He's adding all the tech and everything that he needs. He's pushing time back off the 3rd base. I think Cyan could actually take a 4th base here as well. Like, he's actually got so much control right now.
And time rethinking his add-ons here as well. Looks like he just canceled a reactor.
Oh, he takes a 4th. Cyan, such good game sense. We get to see everything. It's easy for me to make that call. It's not easy for Cyan to make the call to drop a 4th, but it's a perfect read.
Yeah, good call indeed. There's just not going to be much presence from the Terran. He's very, very afraid of the counterattack of Cyan right now, but we know that Cyan is at home just chilling. Time's just worried about an impending doom push from Protoss with their laser giraffes and gateway units.
2-1 upgrades are on the way for time, so he's got the double upgrades. Only single forge for Cyan so far. I don't think that's the most worrisome though. I'm a big believer that adding the disruptors or the storm to the Colossus is way more important than the second forge in most scenarios, especially when you're so tech heavy.
Is that Widow Mines or Marauders?
Yeah.
Yep, Widow Mine drop.
Winner.
No reaction from Cyan.
No.
Oh, 16 probes.
Oh, that hurts, Daddy. Widow Mine in the main base. Come on, pull the probe back. Okay, there we go. Not bad. Okay, good reaction so far. But,
17 probes though.
Yeah, it's a massive amount of damage. He's still got a big army, so this puts Time definitely back in a position where he's got the dominant kind of force moving around the map. But Cyan still has 2 Colossus, 2 Immortals, 4 Phoenix. There's no clear and easy answer to that. And unless Time can get a really sick position, Cyan doesn't seem to have too much map awareness right now.
You just dropped the Corona on a forge as well. It's not doing anything. There we go, +2.
Oh, ow. 4 more probes do go down. Cannon will clean it up. Colossus are here, though. I think this is an okay fight for Cyan.
There are some Vikings and a tank, so his anti-Colossus countermeasures, or tanks, plural, excuse me. His anti-Colossus countermeasures are here this time for this push. 4th Nexus under pressure. Cyan needs to move and get rid of this now.
Oh, he does pop the battery overcharge and dives on forward. The Colossus do not have their extended thermal lance, but despite that, it looks like there are enough numbers. The Colossus starting to slay through these ranks. The Vikings will get run down. An important victory for Cyan, whose work account is so low. He lost his 4th Nexus in that, though.
Oh, and this Colossus just survives with 1 shot there. The Viking was about to line up those missiles. Does get taken down by the Stalkers. A counterattack from Cyan, I don't think is a good idea. I'm pleased to see him actually pull back and disengage, but yeah, a very important fight. Losing the 4th Nexus, brutal, does hurt, but he can afford to retake it.
I mean, he can, but I feel like Cyan is in so much trouble now because look at the size that Time's getting to. 2nd factory on the way. He's got 2 upgrades, a planetary. I don't really know what the 2nd factory is about, to be honest. I'm kind of confused. Like, are we just playing tank late game, or are we adding Widow Mines in here? I don't know.
I think with the 2nd factory, that usually means tanks, but I don't know about that one.
I haven't seen someone play a tank late game
in
so long.
When I think tank TVP late game, I think about like some of the old U-thermal TVPs.
I mean, it's not a bad unit. Like, the tank is one of the most generically amazing anti-ground units.
No,
it's just its immobility is the big problem, right? That's the thing. When you're playing a really top-tier pro player, that's where it's not so powerful. I think on the ladder, you can play bio tank all game long. Unless they have Tempests out, like, it's just amazing, right? But against Cyan, it's an odd choice. However, we know Cyan's very disruptor heavy. Tanks outrange disruptors unless you use the very edge of the disruptor splash, which is incredibly finicky, and most players aren't even aware they can do it.
I think it is going to be Widow Mine's reactors on the way on that factory, by the way. Just as a confirmation. There it is.
That does defend DTs in the late game, right? Allows you to just put a few Widow Mines at your planetaries. 2 Widow Mine splashies does take out a big pack of DTs, so 3-2 upgrades on the way. Time is getting further and further ahead. Cyan's recovered to a 3-base set of workers, 65. It's not looking good the longer this is going. If he could see everything we could see, I think Cyan would be more comfortable, but he has so little vision. His observers are starting to get out there. He's starting to see a little bit more. But Cyan, he feels like he could die at any point in this game. And
does he have Storm?
No, he doesn't. We know he needs to be greedy. He's got to be greedy.
He is dropping more Nexi. Probe production kind of stifled, though. Not seeing a lot of probes getting produced from Cyan, considering the amount of bases he's taking.
He's so afraid of the push that he wants to max out and just have an army that can match Time, right? So he's playing to survive the one push. Time, though, is setting up for a much longer game. Ghosts being added in, 5th command centers, 3-2 upgrades, 2nd factory. It does feel to me like Time is definitely setting up for a position where he's going to have breathing room to make a mistake or two, still be in it. Cyan has to crush the first big battle.
Yeah, Time moving over to 9 o'clock here. That Nexus is going to be in trouble, and it looks like, oh, God, might get a little bit of lag.
Okay, good to know that's not me.
Yeah, I think the players would absolutely say something if they were feeling the lag here. They would hit the pause. Actually, much more important that the players don't feel this.
Yeah, obviously we will try and just commentate our best through it, but Zealot, Stalker, Colossus on that right side. 3-2 upgrades are on the way for Cyan. Losing the 5th was not that important because he doesn't have a crazy probe count. He's going to try and break these rocks. He really needs to evolve to the ultimate tech tree, though. As Ghosts come out, Zealot Archon becomes very weak, so it's important that Time starts splitting off the Zealots, shaving them away, doing harassment, gets the Blink DT, raises the Disruptor count, and honestly, Quad Robo Maynard. He needs Quad Robo in a late game like this. He's going to need to be able to rebuild those Disruptors so quickly.
Will indeed. Man, The medevac pilot said that we'd be in for some chop and Mandarin, but I didn't think she meant. All right, it's a good joke. It's a good joke, guys. Please like and subscribe. DT Shrine halfway done here. +3 almost done as well for the Protoss. The upgrades trying to catch up for Cyan, but +3 is done for the Bio, and also it's Ghost o'clock. We've seen Ghost come in, enhanced Shockwave on the way. Cyan's shift queuing some Zealots for some harassment up at here. It looks like 12 o'clock's the target.
Yep, just click on the command center, shift click some SCVs. Planetaries, of course, aren't going to die, but everything around it's vulnerable. So Zealots actually go right past into the natural, and Disruptor's trying to zone out. Does get one Ghost here.
Yeah, Ghost pick up some nice. Oh,
not bad.
That Nova looked like it could have been way better. It was like I was very, very worried for time there.
Oh,
and
maxed
the
out.
Just run into
Maxed
the
out.
natural.
He can't build units because he's maxed out, Maynard. That's the worst thing ever when a run by hits you. Time has got to press in now to punish Cyan for that move.
Oh, he gets the Nexus, which isn't too bad. Oh, this Colossi! Oh my God, Cyan's got so many expensive units here.
Oh, that tank volley was absolutely savage. Cyan does lose a base. He's going to start trying to have to rebuild that on the right side. He does so. Disruptor shot comes forward with the Colossus beams. Yeah, you see what happens when the Colossus are there. Time says, okay, yeah, maybe got punished a bit more that time.
Zealots still causing problems over here in the main base. These tanks, looks like the siege position has been broken by Cyan. Are there many tanks remaining? Okay, looks like Time is unsieged. A couple of them got caught in the retreat, though. These medevacs are coming back. The main base of Time is in shambles. The tank is blocked in the main base as well, I think.
Yeah, it finally pops out and gets killed by Zealots. So, I mean, this is amazing damage for Cyan. And forcing that whole army home. He's going to move to the right side. Oh, wow, this is huge. And look at the way he's zoning this army. He just forces the siege and pulls back.
And Tank's going to get some shots off here. Zealot gets picked off, third base lifted up and sent back into the main for safety. Time losing 34 SCVs. I mean, we mentioned at the very, very start of the broadcast that run-bys and prisms and that kind of thing are a weakness for Time. He has excellent multitasking, but the Zealot run-bys just seem to find damage against him. Cyan just brilliantly went for the soft underbelly, straight into the natural with just a bunch of charge lots. And you wouldn't think a player as good at Time would have a problem with that, but we've seen it twice now, 2 games in a row. It's really crippled him each time.
I think Time could have done a lot with multitasking in this game, but the tank army, it's very immobile. And you can feel the moment he went into the tank Viking, Cyan feels like a nimble bloody cheetah jumping around the map, catching him off guard and moving in and out-circling him. I mean, a Disruptor Colossus Archon Ball is not a very fast army. It's just the siege tank is so exceptionally slow, it's weighing down Time's maneuverability here.
This Protoss army is quite spooky. Fireball on the right side, looking to try and get that Nexus. Planetary with tank support and Viking support. Not sure Cyan wants any of that.
Oh, opportunistic dive on the right side, but that's a recall, mate. Watch out. Storm's not quite ready. So close, so close, so close.
He's diving for these disruptors. Time!
Wow.
What a mad lad!
Oh, a big one lands and Storm's about to finish as well, Maynard. This is going to cost Time big time.
It's going to cost Time big time indeed, Pig. I think it's time for Time to head back.
He's out of time, mate. He's got to go home.
Time is out of time. That's right. Clock's running out for him.
Honestly, that was crazy. Yeah, going for the disruptors. I mean, whenever I see a Terran run towards a recall, I'm like, oh my god, you are insane. Like, you don't even know what's about to arrive, but Time is a brave boy. He gets punished a little bit. It almost paid off. It was only the last disruptor shot that landed. So, you know, hats off to him for almost making a high-risk, high-reward play correctly.
I think the planetary in the top left is misplaced.
Well, those SCVs...
My agita. Oh.
Cardio's good for you, you lazy, drilly boys. It's fine.
Oh, it hurts.
It is going to be a bit less efficient, but you know what? As you get to this stage, you just need mineral lines available, so it's not actually that impactful in the big picture.
Yeah, but
obviously,
it hurts my brain, though.
It shows that Time's a bit frantic right now. Shows that he's under pressure. He's feeling it. He does not want the repeat of last season's grand finals. That reversal is looking ever present right now. Cyan is on the cusp of pushing this game into a winning position. Now, Time obviously still has a big army. It's not over till it's over by any means. But yeah, Cyan has done a lot of damage, slowed him down, has a bigger bank. I don't know if there's enough gateways for Cyan yet, though. These messy games, you often forget to add as many gateways as you would like.
Yeah, it has absolutely been pretty brutal for Time for the past minute or so, but this game, as it stands, is pretty even. That was a great storm from Cyan.
Man,
my goodness.
Those
Time
storms.
seemed very unprepared for the bad weather there.
Oh, and he's got a Zealot run by going in as well. Maybe that's even DTs as well. Yeah, Planetary will struggle against that many DTs, but with the mass repair, I think it's enough to hold on. As he didn't blink on top of it, he goes past now into the bio line, and nice defense here. Blinks it away. Does Cyan trying to get out of there. Tank push is there. Cyan's going to go around. He says, that's fine. Let's base trade this. Let's go, son.
Yeah, he's got the DTs, he's got disruptors, he's got excellent base trade units. Time has, you know, planetaries, the ability to fly some structures, but the natural, once again, is just wide open. There's nothing here at all. The Protoss can get into the main base, start sitting on top of production again.
Cyan's got to start building disruptors and recalling disruptors. If he can have disruptors at home, he wins the base trade. Actually, Time's going to come home and try to defend it, and DT see this. So, oh yeah, he's in a great position then. Okay, Cyan, just extricate that army, pull it back. I think you're happy with this trade. I mean, yeah, are you? You did lose a few bases. Time's economy is still good, but you can't lose this
Time
army.
wants to grab this army. He wants to grab it. He's got some units coming in from the natural, streaming into the left side as well.
Storm. Oh, EMP on the High Templar.
Yeah, good EMP. There's still energy on the High Templar for Storms, though, even after the EMP.
There's no way he catches this army, man. Oh, the Zealots run in a bit willy-nilly. Ooh, good storms.
Nova's coming in, another great storm there. EMP on the Protoss army, a lot of hurt units. Time coming in from every angle.
Oh, okay, good recall saves some of those units. Cyan, though, taking heavy losses. Time there, getting a lot of damage done. And he's still got that big economy up. Remember, all those Nexi that went down did cost Cyan a lot. He did not crack the production. If he got up in the main, I think that might have been more worth it. Like, if Cyan just shoved into the main base, I think maybe he wins the game. But he pulled back, ends up still losing a lot of his army. Equal army supply, equal upgrades, very late game armies. Let's see who's better at this stage.
At times just spammed a bunch of depots right there. He just made like 6 of them to try and get up to max because he did lose a few and also the CC back at home.
Oh, that's massive. There's nothing here, Maynard. He EMPs it, but there's still enough energy for recall. Yeah. We don't mind. We'll kill a bunch of those probes, but the DT warp in does defend for it now. Cyan hanging on very well. 62 probes there, trying to rebuild because his mineral bank is gone, and it does feel like now Time's economy, all of that infrastructure he built earlier in the game is kicking in.
Yeah, like this is actually a dream scenario for the Terran to just be swimming in minerals while you're heading towards maxed out. Because as a Terran, you always have like a lot of gas, but you don't have a lot of minerals because everything that you want as a Terran costs more minerals than gas. You know, apart from a Raven, but he would not want a Raven at this point. The Colossi are expensive for Cyan, 300, 200 a unit, which drains his bank with every cycle here. But he needs that army. He needs that splash damage. The DT's rolling into this third base. Definitely very scary.
Oh, the flank is getting set up. Time's coming in from the left side.
EMP on the High Templar. Can he get it? Storm on the north side. He runs through in time. The killer instinct. He just wants this fight, and I think he's going to get it.
Oh my god, yes he is, Maynard. One last disruptor, unable to connect.
And Cyan, a valiant effort. Definitely a really tricky game, but even with these DTs in the main base, he has lost absolutely everything.
He kills all the Vikings. He's got 3 Colossus popping soon, Maynard.
No.
Don't call it over till it's over. The DTs in the production. The Stalker's pulling back down here. This base is so important. Cyan, though, wisely gives it up, makes the hard call.
Yeah, it is going to be painful for him.
Oh, the storm will land in the bottom as well. He did land a big storm down there all over that bio army. But, of course, it did end up... Oh, High Templar from the top as well. It goes in from behind the army and goes down. Oh, that was a shame. It actually rallied in from the top of that Terran army and just walked into it and died. The Colossus are coming out. Time's army is very small. His production did survive, though. He defended the Dark Templar, and he's mining a lot. Remember, Time has a lot of barracks out front his third as well. Colossus is here. Medevac's trying to pick up. Oh, he only gets the empty one. Does not target the correct Medevac. Cyan missing out on a big opportunity.
Yeah, could have killed quite a bit of supply right there. He got one medevac with 1 unit in it, but hey, damage is damage. The medevac's, oh, that one's full.
Oh,
just makes it back to the main base.
Okay.
SCV's in here, what?
Yep, a little bit messy this game, Maynard. No, nothing clean, nothing collected. Stalkers are going to just dive into the main. Very cute move, but also incredibly dangerous. Blink out and leave right now, or forever hold your peace. Cyan's getting a bit cocky, I think. You got to be careful, mate. You cannot... No, not cocky, but too loose. Bit too fast and loose. Now he's adding the disruptors. He gets his stalkers out of there. I think this is a really good move for him. He's got like 5 Colossus, Maynard.
Yeah. And Time is only reactoring out Vikings to it at the moment, but he's actually, once again, kind of similar to last game, found himself out of gas. He's just grabbing refineries now on relatively fresh, like 10 o'clock base. He's mining from every single other one. He's just like, I cannot afford Vikings, and I need Vikings like yesterday.
Oh, the DT run-bys are so effective. They just keep on whittling him down, picking off his units in small numbers while the Stalker, Colossus, and Zealot moves down this left side. But Stalkers are very expensive units. You can't be losing those. Looks like one factory will go down in that main base most likely. Yeah, probably going to be burning out as the Ghost CMP that unit. Disruptor count's growing right now. We are going to still see both players, it looks like, max out and have another big clash. I want to keep seeing those DTs and Zealots drip feed in, though. 5 Colossus. How many Vikings are on the map?
Let's see. Oh, it's going to be 4 in a minute.
Ooh, yeah. That's pretty good for the Colossus. And he's adding Immortals as well. So with like 5 Colossus lasers, you got Immortals, you have a few Disruptors, a few Storms mixed in. Highly effective army. Now, split push for time, though. That is hard to deal with.
Certainly is. Doesn't have the units to split it up.
Okay, DTs are doing
DTs,
damage.
Yeah, just constantly finding damage. Those are fresh Archons right there. They go down.
Oh, this army on the right. Looks like it could get jumped on. Careful time. Oh, but Cyan's just not punishing the medevacs. Yeah, he's got to start punishing those medevacs, man. These pickups have been doing too much. DTs do warp in and start taking down some of the bio, but a quick EMP answers that. Blink does come in, the recall. Oh!
Gets one of the Colossi there before bouncing. Main base of time just constantly under threat and getting hammered by Dark Templar over and over and over again. But Time's army once again looking very big and very powerful.
It's massive. 123 supply. It's such low tech. He needs to keep split pushing. This is what you do as Time in this scenario is you base trade. You cannot fight front on. The problem is if he loses track of Cyan's army and takes a bad fight, Cyan's gonna pounce on him.
Oh, that's a big chunk of Time's army. Drops the EMPs, but he knows that that army is forfeit. It's absolutely going down. Will that be enough for the rest of the army to do anything? I think Time's just doom dropping the main base.
Yes, he is, and that is the correct call right now. He says, okay, that was really hard to deal with, but guess what? I will punish you for it. Are there any scans left? Oh my god, the DTs are there. He doesn't have any scans or EMPs in this army, Maynard. And this is where sniping down the orbitals, but also just constantly sending DTs in made such a big difference. DTs defend the main base, and he's up in the production. Cyan is so far behind in supply. He's down in army supply, but he's in a very, very fierce position with this army. But it looks like the micro from Time, he's holding on for now. He's threatening the flank and the surround. Again. There's no War Prism to reinforce.
I'm getting deja vu, Pig. Once again, Cyan getting bullied at 3 o'clock with the Terran coming in from multiple sides. Does he have enough firepower to make this happen? A drop from the south and from the north and from the west. The Colossi got nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Time takes an incredible engagement, and I think he might have finally done it.
Wow, what a game, dude. Back and forth here. There's money in the bank for Cyan, but of course he lost a lot of gateways, didn't have enough production, and he wasn't able to reinforce into those battles. No warp prisms or anything like that. Imagine 2 rounds of Zealots warping into that battle in front of those Colossus. I think it's a completely different situation, but Time has managed to handle it, and in the midst of this, expanding to the middle left base as well. Time, an absolute master of navigating the chaos, and he says, okay, yeah, this was closer than I'd like it to be, but last season's finals was indeed, that was the exception to the rule.
Mm-hmm. And rule he does this region with an Iron Fist. It's going to be very, very hard to see someone unseating Time from the finals, but, you know, Cyan does have a second life, of course. He'll be going to the losers bracket shortly enough. Yes, Disruptors are still firing, but look at the soup, friends. 172 against 91 here. Cyan just lost all of his economy. He's running on fumes right now. The DTs have been magical for him in this game, but they are running out as well.
And they are expensive, of course. As much damage as they did, Time was able to weather that and handle the non-stop Dark Templar